Yes.
Okay, good evening. Welcome to the November 3rd Clifton Park Town Board meeting. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Stephanie, if you call the roll.
Councilman Morelli?
Present.
Councilwoman Reed?
Present.
Councilman Mayor?
Here.
Supervisor Barrett?
Here, entertain a motion to approve town board meeting minutes of October 20. Okay.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Mayor?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes. Communications and announcements. Any announcements tonight?
Yes. Last week, we held an open house for the Clifton Park Agricultural and Farmland Protection Plan at the Senior Center, and this meeting involved all the local farmers and agricultural landowners, and we gave them a presentation, talked about what we were doing, and got their feedback, and we had some great discussions. It was very well attended, a lot of great engagement, a lot of comments, and all mostly positive, and some great ideas for what we can do moving forward to continue to support our agricultural businesses and landowners. And I think it was a great event, and it's really going to be vital to our farmland protection plan that we're working on. So take all that data that we took together that night, and we'll move forward with that in a positive way.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody that was involved in that. There were basically folks from the agricultural community that were at different tables, and there was somebody at each table to lead the discussion. And there were a number of ideas and concerns and so forth that were voiced at each table. And at each table, they were talking about different subjects, and then the moderator would move to another table. So they'd switch tables and talk about a different set of topics. This plan is another of many long-range planning studies that we've completed, and I would say that was one of the best stakeholder meetings that we've ever had. Now, we've had a lot of stakeholder meetings over the years through various planning processes, but this one was very informative. It went on for at least a couple of hours, but the entire time everybody was engaged, expressing ideas for the future and how we can incorporate many of those ideas into what will be our final plan. So I just want to thank everybody that came and participated. It certainly showed that we have a very vibrant agricultural community, and it was good to see so many people participate. So it was very good evening for the town, for future planning, and I think it'll end up being a great assistance to the town board as we formulate a final plan. Any other communications or not?
You had a couple, Supervisor.
Yeah.
Friday is the next series of our First Fridays at Groom's Tavern. Last month, there was a paranormal presentation that was pretty much a packed house. This Friday, November 7th, the topic will be Bigfoot. Gary Robusto from the New York Bigfoot Society will be sharing his knowledge of all things Bigfoot. So if you are interested, it'll be again at Historic Groom's Tavern this Friday the 7th at 7 p.m. Many of you know November is Veterans and Military Families Month. Veterans Day is next Tuesday. One of the big events that many of us attend in Clifton Park on that day is the Veterans Day Dash on the Shenandoah campus. It's a 5K run. There's some pretty meaningful opening ceremonies beforehand, and then there's the run, and it's a good way to celebrate Veterans Day if you're so inclined. So again, that's 10 p.m. at the Shenandoah campus. If you go to Shen Runners, you should be able to find more information or sign up if that's something. I believe there's also a kids fun run as part of that. Mm-hmm. So it's a nice morning to celebrate veterans.
And what was the date on that again?
That's the 11th.
Yeah, it's a great event every year. Very well attended.
This Wednesday is our next iteration of our stewardship hikes. That'll be at 1 p.m. That'll be this month's hike will be at the Bishop Ferry Nature Preserve. I was down there this morning. Beautiful in fall colors. The starting point for that hike will be at the dam at the end of Sugar Hill Road. So again, that's 1 p.m. this Wednesday. And the last thing, I would just say thank you to everyone here and watching online, participated in any way in the food drive. Yesterday and today, we were able to collect several truckloads worth of food and necessities for our 4 food pantries here in Clifton Park, and I know they all appreciated that replenishment extensively as the need has obviously grown in the last few weeks and is anticipated to potentially grow in the upcoming weeks. So again, thank you to all for the generosity and participation in that.
Yeah, and it just shows the generosity of our community. We had conducted food and donation drives during COVID, following COVID, and the outpouring of support for our pantries was tremendous. And we always did them over here at out in front of the Clifton Park Senior Community Center on the Common. And with all the talk in the national headlines and locally about the concern regarding social service safety net programs possibly being interrupted due to the government shutdown, it was expected that our pantries would see a surge of requests. So we were able to make we loaded up 3 large pickup trucks in just a couple of hours yesterday, had about $2,000 in gift card donations as well. So we split all that up. We made a delivery to the Helping Hands Food Pantry in Jonesville yesterday. Following the event today, there were deliveries to Captain and Faith Church out in Rexford. Faith Church has very large and extensive pantry as well. So delivery went to those three, and also St. Ed's Church, based on the collections that were gathered today from 3 to 5. We over Chad Gregory's property on Route 9. It was a great turnout. I think the rain kind of dampened things at about 4:15 or so when it started raining, but very good turnout again. So all of that that we collected today will go to St. Ed. So each food pantry received a boost from this event that we just hurriedly put together last week. And again, it's just in response to the pending issues with social safety net programs that may be occurring. And as we enter the holidays, it's another time where the pantries see a surge of requests. So we're pleased again to do that. And anytime we offer the residents of Clifton Park the opportunity to donate to help their neighbors in need, they always come out in force, and that was again true yesterday and today. So thank you all very much. We've never received that amount of gift cards. I mean, that was tremendous. And that's very helpful because people can buy dairy, meat at the store with the gift card. So that's very important. But there were a number of $100 gift cards. A couple people dropped off a few $25 gift cards. I saw one for $400. So it was just very, very generous of our community once again. So we hope the government shutdown gets resolved soon and those programs aren't interrupted. But it was a gesture to try to help in that regard. Anyone else? Okay. All right, we do have a number of resolutions. I'll ask Stephanie to read through those, please.
A resolution authorizing the assessor to re-levy the expense of repairs or maintenance against the land on which such building is located as provided for in section 77-12 of the town code. A resolution authorizing the assessor to re-levy delinquent sewer charges on the 2026 property tax bills. A resolution authorizing the assessor to re-levy delinquent water charges on the 2026 property tax bills. A resolution authorizing the assessor to re-levy delinquent sewer charges on the 2026 property tax bills. A resolution authorizing the assessor to re-levy delinquent sewer charges on the 2026 property tax bills. A resolution supporting the abandonment, discontinuance of a portion of Sunset Street, Town of Clifton Park, County of Saratoga, New York. Now therefore be it resolved that a portion of Sunset Street described in the annexed Schedule A, which is adjacent to lands of Brendan and Annie Nally, and the same is hereby abandoned at the request of Brendan and Annie Nally, as consented and certified to by Dan Bowl, Superintendent of Highways, Town of Clifton Park, County of Saratoga, and Dan Bowl is to proceed in accordance with and to make on the official highway map of the Town of Clifton Park the abandonment of said roadway, which is hereby consented to, and be it further resolved that the property abutting said roadway be conveyed to the abutting owners, Brendan and Annie Nally, of aforesaid property by quitclaim deed, and have it be annexed to their parcels that lie adjacent to the existing portion of the roadway known as Sunset Street, and be it further resolved that the town supervisor, Phil Barrett, be authorized to execute a quitclaim deed of all the town's right, title, and interest to the property abandoned to the contiguous owners, and be it further resolved a copy of this resolution be sent to the Saratoga County Commissioner of Public Works for his approval and consent, and be it further resolved that the delivery of the appropriate quitclaim deed shall be subject to obtaining a release from the property owners of any claim for damages by reason of the abandonment of the roadway. A resolution adopting a local law to amend Town Code Chapter 73 and 208 regarding short-term rentals. Now therefore be it resolved that local law number 13, a local law to amend Town Code Chapter 73 and 208, and be it further resolved that this local law shall take effect immediately upon its adoption. A resolution approving an agreement for payment in lieu of taxes with DG Cooley LLC. Now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is authorized to execute the attached pilot agreement with DG Cooley LLC in the amount of $2,500 per megawatt AC of capacity annually, with 2% annual increases for a 15-year term, conditioned on DG Cooley LLC receiving site plan approval and obtaining a special use permit. A resolution authorizing the sale of equipment declared surplus by the town board and authorizing the Buildings and Grounds Department to sell the surplus equipment at public auction. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board authorizes the Buildings and Grounds Department to sell the surplus equipment noted on the attached Schedule A as is through an upcoming online public auction. A resolution authorizing the purchase of 7 2026 New York State Building Code books for use by the Building and Development Department staff. Now therefore be it resolved that the Buildings and Development Department is authorized to purchase 7 2026 New York State Building Code books in the amount not to exceed $6,447 per the attached invoice, to be paid from General Fund Building and Development Building Equipment. A resolution authorizing the Superintendent of Highways to hire Josiah Conley and Lucas Weiss as motor equipment operators in the Highway Department. Now therefore be resolved that the town board authorizes the hiring of Josiah Conley and Lucas Weiss as motor equipment operators at grade 5, step 1, at a yearly salary of $58,318 at a rate of $27.93 an hour, and effective at a start date no earlier than Wednesday, November 5th, 2025, and be it further resolved that the comptroller is authorized to transfer funds as detailed in attached Schedule A.
All right, very good. If you could read the headings, and we'll go through each one individually.
Resolution number 237 of 2025, a resolution authorizing the assessor to re-levy the expense of repairs or maintenance against the land on which such building is located as provided for in section 77-12 of the town code.
Second.
All right, the first 5 resolutions are something that we do annually with different special districts as far as re-levying of taxes. This first one in particular is a little different because that was part of a program that we established during or maybe just after the housing crisis years ago. There were a number of abandoned properties in town and foreclosures. People walked away from homes, and we had the highest percentage that I ever remember of homes in that state of condition. I started receiving a number of complaints from people that the house was not being taken care of, the grass was very high, the home wasn't secure, and that it was becoming not only a blight on the neighborhood, but also a possible public safety issue. So we established a program that was run out of the Building and Code Enforcement Department. And they conducted, once we had one of these properties, we knew about it, did some research, placed it on the list of abandoned properties. The code enforcement would regularly visit the property, assess what needed to be done. Might be cutting the grass, it might be a window that was broken, it might be a door that was ajar, a pool that wasn't drained. Those were many of the most common issues that we would find, and our Buildings and Grounds Department would go out and cut the grass, make sure the door was secure, the windows were secure, the pool was drained, those types of tasks. And they kept track of the time and any expense related to that work. And that once the property had gone through the process of new ownership, that it would be, those costs would be attached to the property, so the town would be paid back for everything it did to keep the property in good shape. and it prevented properties from being a blight or a public safety issue to the neighborhood. In many cases, the bank that owned the property under a foreclosure or an abandonment would have somebody that would take care of the property. Unfortunately, during that time, there were so many properties across our region, across the United States, that they just either couldn't keep up with it or lost interest. We're not sure, but in either case, it was important to make sure these properties didn't become a problem to the neighborhood. So we stepped in proactively to get that done, and thankfully, over time, now that we're 15 years from that time frame, over time, the number of properties on our list declined and continued to decline to now we just have a few. But if even with just a few of these properties in town, we want to make sure that they're maintained and secure. So the program continues at much less activity, but it does continue, and that's what the first resolution relates to, is unpaid charges for care and inspection of abandoned properties. Any further discussion? Okay, Stephanie?
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Minier?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 238 of 2025, a resolution authorizing the assessor to re-levy delinquent sewer charges on the 2026 property tax bills.
Second.
Okay, so like I said, the next four are related to various special districts. Anything you want to add here, Walter?
No, it's pretty routine. We do it every year. These are unpaid bills from the county sewer district, the Boston Water Department, and 2 town sewer districts, Rivercrest and Old Knott Farm. So usually every year we have a few properties that didn't pay, so we have to put them on their county bill in January.
Right.
So
Right. And this is for the folks that are in the districts that don't pay the annual fee. So this way it gets re-levied and will eventually get paid, just as everybody else in the district has already paid for their respective fees. As Walter mentioned, you've got the Saratoga County Sewer District, which we're all in. We have the Town of Ballston water charges. That's a water district. Rivercrest Sewer District, which has been in place for many, many years, as well as Old Knott Farm Sewer District that has been in place since, I believe, back in the 90s. So anyway, things get missed perhaps with new ownership and properties changing hands. So this just ensures that we are collecting the full amount due for the district and everybody else who pays into that district. Okay, any questions, discussion on the next four resolutions? Okay, Stephanie?
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Minier?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 239, a resolution authorizing the assessor to re-levy delinquent water charges on the 2026 property tax bills.
second.
Okay.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Minier?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 240 of 2025, a resolution authorizing the assessor to re-levy delinquent sewer charges on the 2026 property tax bills. Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Minier?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 241 of 2025, a resolution authorizing the assessor to re-levy delinquent sewer charges on the 2026 property tax bills. Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Minier?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 242 of 2025, a resolution supporting the abandonment, discontinuance of a portion of Sunset Street, Town of Clifton Park, County of Saratoga, New York.
So
All right, so this is a very unique situation, but something that was brought to the town by some property owners in that area. It was approved by the highway superintendent. It's gone through the proper process and seems to be a reasonable request at this point in time. The town does not do any maintenance or plowing to that very small portion of this area. And it's in the very southern end of the town off Riverview Road. And so that's what's in front of you now. Any discussion? All right, Stephanie?
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Minier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rare?
Yes.
Resolution number 243 of 2025, a resolution adopting a local law to amend Town Code Chapter 73 and 208 regarding short-term rentals.
Do we have a motion? Have a motion? All right, I'll move. I'll move.
I'm gonna move to table
Oh, okay.
this resolution. I think there's a few things outstanding in the legislation. I know there's a registry coming on at the county level. I think it might be prudent if we hold off on moving this legislation forward.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
As far as tabling the resolution, well, at this point, you're right. The county is establishing a registry, which does take some time. The legislation was just recently signed by Governor Hochul that changes not only Saratoga County's occupancy tax legislation, but also will, the changes that we are incorporating